There's an old joke about consultants. They borrow your watch to tell you the time and then keep the watch. Not very flattering, and it certainly doesn't apply when a consultant is offering the half-day business huddle. Watch this.
When you sit down and make a plan, how good are you?
I think I'm very good at it.
An informal venture poll.
How good of a planner are you?
I'm pretty good. I think we're really good.
I think outstanding, personally.
Okay, if everybody's such perfect planners, how do you explain this?
A great new taste. It's a corporation.
Remember the Edsel? The Bay of Pigs? How about Mirabelle?
Gee, I'm glad I didn't sell my car.
The defense rests. When best-laid plans go awry, companies can call in this guy, David Talbot, ex-IBM engineer turned consultant. Though he prefers to be called coach, he runs the business huddle. And all this gear's part of a new method for practical planning.
I chose the word huddle because it gets that message across that executives can learn from competitive sports where the athletes are huddling with the coach or they're huddling with their manager. What are they doing? They're planning the next play. And that's precisely what the huddle is.
The planning coach gets called in when companies need to kickstart the planning process.
It's a lot more fun to operate a company than it is to plan. And that's why entrepreneurs are having a lot of fun not planning. Probably doesn't please their bankers.
Today, we're tagging along as Coach Talbot pays a house call to Home Products out in Markham, Ontario. Right now, this distribution company is in turnaround. Over the last year, they got a brand new president, Ed Dudemaine, and amalgamated a bunch of businesses. They're trying to get better at planning, and they're counting on the coach to help them.
There's a trend now to try to be better at planning simply because it makes a major difference. It's the difference between staying in business or not being in business.
Home Products is launching a brand new product called Merlin, a motion sensor for garden lights.
This is called the Merlin.
Problem is, they need a plan fast. Garden season has already begun, and they've got to get this gadget to market in 6 weeks.
The timing is important, and ensuring that we get all of the development issues and the marketing sales issues out on the table. And so hopefully through this process today that we'll achieve that result.
The Business Huddle is a computer-augmented meeting process that we developed in 1988.
For $5,000 over just one half day, David meets with management teams and fast-tracks practical plans.
And really what I want us today to do is to completely flush out the market opportunity with this product.
The coach always huddles with company decision makers. Today's team roster,
from a sales point of view,
has reps from sales and marketing, customer service,
when we get our worldwide patent,
and even the big cheese himself.
The leader has to be in the room. The boss, the quarterback, the president, the chairman, the team needs to have a focal point. The huddle process falls on its nose if that key individual isn't around.
Our first question is, what is the future date that you'd like to visit?
First step in huddle methodology.
Well, I think a fair date probably is December 1997.
Pick a future date and think positive.
we have completed our worldwide patent on this product.
24-hour customer service on the internet.
We've perhaps won some design awards.
The team stows today's concerns and envisions total success over the next year and a half.
We are still the only company that has this product available for the consumer.
Really, it's just a way of stating good old goals and objectives, visualizing the big picture.
John, imagine that you're going to give this to your board of directors.
David's free to coach because his assistant, Carmen Jarzabek, is transcribing the proceedings. Think of a typical business meeting, then drop-kick it into the 90s. Forget flip charts. David's replaced them with a giant video screen that projects a computer desktop.
Very good. That gets everyone in tune. Everybody pays attention. Nobody's making any notes or doodling or drawing or reading a magazine or a newspaper during the huddle because they're paying attention to the facts on the wall. And that's a big plus.
Another plus, Carmen types 10 times faster than someone could write on a chart or whiteboard.
150% of our sales targets as outlined a year ago. We're going to take a break for a moment, a copy break, if you will. We're going to print out the notes.
Meeting minutes really matter. They're published immediately on the spot, on the hour.
The second item, number 2, entitled Hurdles.
Now that the grand vision's been spelled out, it's back to today's troubles.
Any obstacles that might prevent you from achieving the success that you have described earlier.
The team must detail all the problems facing them head on.
Well, I think one of the hurdles is the fact that we're late in with the product development in order to generate sales for spring and summer of 1996.
Are there some customers who could still capitalize on this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
In the corporate world, sometimes it's tough to switch off the power of positive thinking.
Are you sure we're talking negatives, or we're just talking the challenges we have in front of us to get to the success? Because negatives to me means things you can't overcome.
We define a hurdle as anything that you think could prevent you from achieving success. The fact that you have missed some of the booking opportunities has an effect on your sales.
The coach persists and the bad news continues.
You're right. The instruction sheets are going to be very important. And that's something that's got to be done. Yeah.
Here's one that I'm concerned about, and that is that we may not have sourced enough product to meet the North American demand.
We have not fully developed a sales network in the United States.
David's got to keep the team in line.
I think that the first thing to say is how are we going to go about
That's
marketing
an
the
action plan
product?
item.
Well,
stick to the
okay,
hurdle.
how do we, okay.
Okay.
The hurdle
You gotta
is,
follow my ground rules.
sorry.
Okay.
That's
That's the deal. Okay. So if you can think negatively about this statement.
After an hour of packaging problems and marketing mayhem, Carmen outputs the downers and the team huddles for one last play.
And we're now going to decide what it is you want to do about these obstacles.
The action plan.
We also want to know who is going to take on the responsibility for that task. And the second is we want to know the next key date by which time that task should be completed.
Duty calls. Every hurdle turns into a task.
Give us the task. Give us the verb, John.
We will complete a sales strategy for entry into the United States.
And everyone signs on the dotted line.
So whose baby is that? Whose task is that one?
You can have a to-do list. That's not enough. Who's going to do it and when?
I'll spearhead it, and we're going to do it on April the 18th.
And if a plan has that delegation built into it and the milestone dates, it's a good plan. Most plans don't.
To successfully complete a product package,
Yeah.
Busy day.
One by one, task by task,
We will set up for consumer and customer service internet.
the team commits to a firm launch date.
will we be able to ship then in the month of May? Thank you.
Did you get your answer?
That's right. If all the other dates we put in the action plan fall into place, we'll ship end of May.
That's right.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, we've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
The final draft, a fully assigned action plan. Now, Ian's in charge of manuals and packaging. Don's got the training program. John and Ed will spearhead the U.S. sales campaign.
A lot of times in a meeting, everybody talks, everybody thinks it's a great meeting and they leave, and there's no action plan to follow up.
It sort of puts people on guard, if you'd want to call on guard. They have to step up to the trough now, and they have to produce, and they have to be on time, and I think that's important.
And from the coach's corner,
Will they miss it? Probably, but my guess is that, within a few days, they're going to scurry. There's a lot of work to be done, and they are probably going to be rewarded on the basis or evaluated on the basis of their performance.
12 days later, back at Home Products to see the action plan in, well, action.
And this morning, we got the negatives back, so we went over them, and you can see we've red dotted the ones that we're going to be using.
Ian's chores are backed up just a bit.
We're about, as I say, 2-3 days behind our original schedule. A lot closer than we would have been, yeah, that's for sure.
And the sales department's almost on track too.
And we had to revise them by a couple of days.
Back in the warehouse, products on schedule for launch in just a few more weeks. It's not a cure-all, and it seems like such a simple fix. But it's amazing how few companies actually make planning work.
The people that plan, stay focused, and accomplish are the people that go ahead. And I think that's not the norm. I think the norm are the people that just miss their target dates and miss their accomplishments. And anything that can help more people get to that level, including ourselves, is a great process.